Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Show podcast that we do every Wednesday morning. I'm Harvey Freed. We got our panel, Becky Alley. Good morning, Becky. How are you?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. It is a beautiful day out, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we're all smiling here, including Lisa Lawson with this beautiful weather. Hey, Lisa Lawson, what's happening?
Hey, everybody.
And to my left here in the video, Nick Calty from Quest Realty. Nick and I are actually at Interstate Title. We just wrapped up a closing, and there are so many closings right here at the end of the month. Memorial Day is sort of getting in the way of some of them, so we're all jamming them through. And we are excited. We just did a 2-unit closing on
downtown Detroit.
A past client. I was able to refer to Nick, and he did a great job. He found him a great opportunity in the city of Detroit. Again, the city of Detroit has so many great opportunities still. And this client was able to purchase a 2-unit property, Nick, for $57,000, 20% down on an investment. He's already got 2 renters in there. And Nick, let's just talk a little bit about this purchase. Again, we got it done within 30 days. And the guy's over here smiling. We just hugged it out with him.
Yeah, we wrapped it up. He's super excited. It actually appraised higher, so he's got immediate equity in the home. He's going to get some new renters in there, get a management service, and start making money.
Yeah, I think actually on this $57,000 purchase price, I think the appraisal came back at $72,000.
Yep.
The city of Detroit has all sorts of breaks for people purchasing where they keep these property taxes low, at least for the first year or two. It might even be for the first 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So you do got to reach out to the municipality, easy for me to say, and find out, is this something you might want to look at? Diversifying your portfolio in today's market, Becky, is a great way to go.
Yeah, I think that's a really valid point. If you are able to, buy a multi-unit, I know that if I could go back in time, I would have bought my first house, would have been a duplex, multi-unit, rented out the first one, fulfilled my year obligation of occupying it for the first year, and then I probably would have moved on and rented it out. But granted, I bought my first house in 2006, so the market conditions were completely different. But hindsight 2020, the point is that we're here, we're living and learning from our own previous experiences. And that's how we're able to help navigate our clients to set themselves up for success. And another thing about Detroit is we're one of the few lenders that actually participate in this grant program that is getting a lot of buzz out there for anyone that is living in Detroit currently. And you want to buy in Detroit as your primary residence, as long as your income meets that criteria, you actually might be able to qualify for up to $25,000 towards your new home as a primary residence, specifically in Detroit. So definitely reach out to us, because don't sleep on Detroit, just like shouldn't be sleeping on the Detroit Lions. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Amen. Lisa, I sort of misspoke. You know all the numbers. The 2-unit actually was 25% down. And sure enough, when I dove into the guidelines and found that out, we were thankful that, again, an extra 5% on this purchase price, the buyer had no problem coming up with it. In fact, we figured about $18,000 to get him into the place. At the end of the day, whatever it was like $15,800. He's going to own this place free and clear, Nick.
Yeah.
And Lisa, he's going to have like total equity coming in and a great cash flow.
Yeah, and I want to note that 25% down is only a requirement if you're buying a 2-unit as an investment. If you're buying a 2-unit as your own primary residence and planning on living in one, like Becky was just talking about, you do not need 25% down. It's a primary residence. So you have to speak with people who know what they're doing, and all these little nuances can be very confusing. But it's all the more reason if you're planning on moving into that, you're not buying it as an investment. I'm so sorry. And you don't need full 25% down. So, there's a million programs. Becky was talking about the one through National Faith. I have it happening for my borough right now. The file just went there. It's a phenomenal program. You have to provide that you've proven that you've been a resident of Detroit for the previous 12 months. And there's also a subset that if you lost a home to foreclosure, tax foreclosure in Detroit, that you could be eligible. I'm having a lot of problems today, people.
We're going to we'll buy you like a telephone stand. Lise,
oh my gosh.
Not only that, in fact, no doubt that some crazy changes with down payment assistance. We are experts on the MSHDA program, Michigan State Housing Development Authority, here in the state of Michigan, offering now $10,000 in every zip code. Becky, you put out some additional information, some really cool changes just hit us recently, and more opportunities for families out there to get into their house.
Yeah, so the official announcement from MISDA has not come out yet, but we had the exclusive drop on the new income limits that are coming out with MISDA that are going to help more people qualify. So in the, Tri-County, so we're talking Wayne, Macomb, and Oakland County, if it is in a non-targeted area, that income limit is now being increased to 94,700, which it was 89,000 and some change just as of, it's still technically this week. If it's in a targeted area, depending what the county is, I mean, you can make up to 147,000 from the sheet that I've seen. So we're going to officially release that once we're allowed to on Friday. But the point is that the state and these down payment assistance programs are recognizing that we have to do whatever we can to help our buyers get into these homes and make it more affordable. They also announced that applicants do not have to credit and income qualify. You can have one person go on the application, but the total household income does take into account. But this is huge because, for example, if I'm on the loan and let's just say I have an 800 credit score and maybe I'm on the loan with somebody else and maybe they have a less than 640 credit score, before that would hinder you from being able to use the MISDA down payment assistance program. And now they've opened up that criteria to make it easier because the biggest hindrance is not the down payment. It's not the interest rates. More times than not, it's the down payment, not the payment that people struggle with.
Great point. Nick is winning offers like, again, I don't do all of his transactions. He's got lots of relationships, but we do some business together. Every day I open up Facebook and like Nick's there bragging, he just got another offer accepted. Nick, our clients might even need these down payment assistance programs to overbid. So now they're using this additional down payment money that they have to overbid on these houses. How are you getting all these offers accepted?
That's exactly it. It's tapping into every resource possible, using the cash in your bank to maybe use some wiggle room and throw competitive offers. But the down payment assistance is a huge deal because we can start getting people in for cheap down payments, and now they can use that cash to start winning offers.
Yeah, and at least so we're closed transactions, whether someone's getting an FHA loan at 3.5% down or one of our down payment assistance programs with the quicker turn times and dealing with mortgage bankers like us, where we can fund and underwrite the deals quickly. We can navigate these files quickly. All these opportunities are open up, but still, Lise, let's talk about it. Multiple bids, inventory is a huge issue, and we're going to probably see this continue over the next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have to be prepared, which means you have to know what you can afford, what you have to work with. Sometimes that means you might have saved to have 20% down, but you get out there and you start looking at these offers and you might have to put less down. You might have to put 10% down so you can make that appraisal guarantee if necessary, so you can win those bids. There's so many different ways to structure a deal and so many different programs that can help you with that. But that's why you need to talk to the experts so we can help you through all those steps and making sure that you have the strongest offer possible for the best chance of getting it accepted.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, USDA loans, VA loans, government programs that are out there. Again, if you're dealing with lenders that aren't qualified or even bringing these loans up to you, you need to find out more. Of course, we are powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage. Capital Mortgage is powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289, Equal Housing Lender. We offer these. We're a top 5 lender in these categories, so we can navigate these transactions and close them in 30 days to help you get the offer accepted. And there's so many, with that being said, with Memorial Day coming up on Monday, I do want to go and salute all the military out there who sacrificed their lives and your family members out there. And of course, I come from a military family also, and all the hardworking people out there. These loans are available for you. Becky, VA loans, what a great way to get a house. You've already served the country. There's the DD-214, the certificate of eligibility. Other than that, you got 2 documents. And you can buy a house 0 down. And really the other part of the transaction, the other components of the transaction aren't that much money out of pocket.
No, VA is actually, if those are your God-given rights because you have sacrificed yourself for the freedoms that we have, you have those benefits that other people just don't have. And rightfully so to use them. And VA is an amazing way to get someone to where they're going. I just actually closed one yesterday for a new construction, and VA allows you to have a little bit more of extended credit. It was a 58 back end on a VA. We closed it. I mean, literally, we have the experience to figure out things a way to get there. They had 0 down. They had to bring their down payment, their closing cost money. That's it. Outside of a few even concessions that they had. But we got it done in, just under 30 days on a new construction home. I mean, it is, it's a really great way. And people, I will say this, I was actually talking about it with another agent, and I'm at the Thrive Real Estate office right now. And they're talking about how, people are like, oh, there's a bad rap for VA with the appraisals. And the reality is that I actually really quickly shut that down. I was like, actually, a VA appraisal is sometimes better. And the reason for that is, for example, is if the value is going to come in a little bit low, or the appraiser is struggling to find comparables, they can issue what's called Tidewater. And Tidewater allows everyone to be aware of that the appraiser is saying, hey, I'm struggling to find comparables that are going to bring in the value at the sales price, because there's a difference between value and price, right? What you're going to sell it for, what someone is going to pay for. And in that situation, they were able to come up with the additional comparables, state their case to the appraiser, and in my situation, the value came in. That is the only way that you're able to get that ahead of time, because VA allows that. It's called Tidewater. So there's a million different ways that we can sit here and talk about how VA is beneficial for someone, but it all starts with a phone call and making sure you're getting in line with Capital Mortgage Funding, so we can analyze your situation, because we are a top 4 in the state for VA lending.
Lisa, we also talked about this on the past radio show and with our fine guest last week on the Hardcore Mortgage Show, heard on 97.1 The Ticket every Saturday. Again, we do take off for the holiday this Saturday. We hope that your family is safe and sound. And again, we always want you to give us a call at the office if you have additional questions. Although we're not going to be officially on the radio, you can always reach out to all of us. Nick's working all weekend long. Again, if you have questions about mortgages and real estate, deal with the real professionals. Lisa, we talk about this team you're putting together. Boy, oh boy, I've had my panties in a bunch about, I met someone at an office, and she would have got the backup offer. She would have won the offer because the other person had backed out of the transaction. It's so important that you have these great real estate agents and this great line of communication. Don't be angry or frustrated, Lisa. Get your team together. The Detroit Tigers will tell you that. The Detroit Lions will tell you that. Get the best team out on the field and good things will happen.
Yeah, communication is key. And I tell people all the time when they get bummed out and they're like, I just heard I didn't win the bid, or my offer wasn't accepted. And I said, have your agent ask if they will hold on to it as a backup offer. Things happen all the time. People get cold feet all of a sudden because they rush into a transaction, or something came up on the inspection. It might be minor, but they don't want to deal with it. Your buyer might. So always, always ask. Say, hey, well, I'm sorry to hear that, but can I be the backup? Communication is absolutely everything in this industry.
Yeah, it's true. I'll piggyback off that. There's a lot of backup offers getting accepted right now too. Even on a couple of my listings, for no reason, you have people send these crazy offers. They win, they take a second look, and they really just threw an offer just to get it accepted. And that happened on a wonderful condo I had. And I'm like, what is going on right now? And by the time the third person ended up getting it, because the first two people just cold feet. So
Right.
Even though you're the backup offer, it doesn't mean you've lost the home. Like, continue to, have faith in that transaction, because it can come through.
We talk about communication all the time, no doubt about that. So here we're broadcasting live. Nick and I, of course, we couldn't even leave this closing here. We're at Devon Title Interstate office in Livonia, office 7 Mile and 275. And we're hugging it out here on our lives. We're hugging it out. And the sellers are here. The buyers are here. Both agents are here. I'm just witnessing it. Not only the smiles and everything going great. Now I'm able to build a relationship with these other agents, and we can help more of their families out there. And I was just talking to a listing agent, Nick, and he's like, Harvey, I want to send some more people your way. But now we're talking about the water escrow being held back $1,000. Now we're communicating that the electric and the gas needs to be changed in our borrower's name. We're talking about the leases being transferred over in the garbage day. And you think these are small things, but at the end of the day, it makes for smiles. It makes for no confusion. It makes for everybody really feeling like they got the best of the transaction. And this is what successful real estate is all about. The best possible team, the best possible knowledge, and these things are available to you. I urge families, I urge you, please stop clicking buttons on these sites. These sites generally are just selling your name and number. Becky, the Zillows, the Realtor.coms. Hey, look, some of the realtors are paying extra money to get these leads. It doesn't always mean they're the best qualified for you. And again, try to deal with the people that you've heard of or you've been referred to.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you're online and you're clicking buttons, it's actually at your own disservice, because as soon as you click that button, now your information you're being chased. There's a reason why we feel like our phones hear every thought we see and they see what we see because they technically do. They are programmed to follow us around, what you're looking at, what you're thinking about even. So when you click on a Zillow ad, sometimes you get the bottom feeder, meaning the one that doesn't really have your best interest at heart. Now, there are some really good people that are in the mix of that, and for sure, but you have to ask the right questions. And when you're interviewing a lender, the right question is not, hey, what's your rate? Hey, what's your rate? Hey, what's your rate? Because at the end of the day, there's much more that goes into a transaction than just your rate, because you get us at the other end of the phone, people that are really taking the time to hold your hand to make sure that you're not getting served this vanilla program when you might need chocolate. And there's a lot of noise out there. So make sure you have the right conversations with people, and it's not just about the interest rate. And same with the real estate side, right? I know Nick can attest to, sometimes people are in line with the wrong team and it takes them longer to sell their house, or that whole experience was just less than perfect. And, it's really important to have the conversation up front.
I always get the best real estate partners involved in my life. I met Nick 3 years ago. We did a couple transactions together. And again, I feel comfortable. We can talk to each other. He answers the telephone. This communication part of you wanting to buy real estate, Lisa, in today's tough marketplace, the communication is always key to it. Lisa, I'll let you wrap us up a little bit and then we'll just get out of here.
Yeah, to piggyback on communication, sometimes that means you got to deliver tough news too. You can't always be sunshine and rainbow. Sometimes you got to make the phone call. Your appraisal came in $50,000 short, and you have a $40,000 appraisal guarantee. So we got to start sourcing these funds. We know they're coming from this account, but we got to start moving it. Sometimes those conversations can be frustrating for clients because they're really hoping maybe that value would come in, or sometimes the answer is no. I know you want to get that house for 300, but your approval is really topped out at 260. But honesty is always the best policy in these cases. Giving somebody false hope so they can waste their time and resources and they end up not closing is just a frustration on everybody's part. And it doesn't, make for good business, period. So deal with the people who know what they're doing. They're not only happy to share the successes, but also guide you through the more difficult, turns that happen when you're going through the mortgage buying process.
I actually really like that, Lisa. Like more times than not, people are like, oh, sunshine, rainbows, all the things, right? Yeah. And you don't get a rainbow but without going through a storm. That's true. But when we can kind of pull that veil back a little bit and just be honest, I think that is a beautiful thing, that we're not afraid to expose things that happen in the lending side, real estate side, and how we're going to navigate it, right? Because things are going to come up. But the point is that when you're in line with someone that knows how to get around those problems, that is key, because anyone can do a layup, but if it's 3 seconds on the clock and you need your ace in the hole to hit that jumper from half court, who you work with matters in that moment.
Yeah, you can't teach passion. That's why I'm here. Look, my hand around him, my buddy Nick. We're passionate. We show up to your closing table. We're here to answer the questions. We come to closings because we know the documents, because we can add something. We're here to help you really fill in all those blanks out there and give you that additional confidence. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, we got a beautiful weekend planned here in Metro Detroit, across the state of Michigan. We hope that everyone is safe and sound. Be careful out there. For all you boaters out there, don't drink and boat. Don't drink and drive. Do the safe thing. And we'll see you guys all back here next week on the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Show podcast. And, of course, the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll see you guys next week.